Hey shooter, do you love your classic Slick AK and wish there was an easy, cheap, and reliable way to mount your favorite optic? Well then don't try this. If you can even install this unpatented rifle ruiner, it breaks, it's ugly, and once you drop it, it'll bend and you won't be able to reinstall it. Rock bottom performance at rock bottom prices plus shipping? Look no further than the KeyMod receiver cover brought to you by NC Star. I would have liked that intro to be a little longer, but getting actual footage of this product functioning is next to impossible. And if that doesn't tell you what you need to know about this video, reread the video title. So today, this video is going to be taking a look at a dumpster fire of a product, and it's going to be my first product review. Product review. Product review. The hell? Hello? Whoa! Whoa, what's going on, man?
Смотри.
What?
Я сказал, смотри!
What is this? What's this?
Ёб твою мать, я сказал, смотри!
What is this? This document? Product review agreement? What am I supposed to do with this?
Смотри!
Alright.
Быстро!
Getting there, man. I'm getting there. Jeez. Jesus. Alright. Anyway, today I'm going to be looking at the NC Star KeyMod mount receiver cover. This part and the company that produces it are famous in the gun world in a similar way to Glock and Aimpoint, except in the exact opposite manner, where companies like Glock and Aimpoint set a standard across the industry for rugged reliability. NC Star and its offerings do the exact opposite. The cheap crap they pump out is often not even airsoft grade. As you can see from the intro, this part does not hold up. I actually figured that out while I was installing it before we even got to shooting that it wasn't going to hold up. But just to confirm, me and the boys had a night where we were going to go test out some new gear, so I took this thing out for its first shot. Singular.
Alright, so it survived the ride. Let's see if it actually stays on for the first shots. No. It didn't. You have to, it's not in right now, you have to press this in a little bit, and then it, wants to seat. And it's not even going in anymore after that shot. This thing, it's such a piece of shit. If it's not in, yeah.
Even though it doesn't stay on, and we'll get to fitment later, let's pretend that it does stay on, and we'll look at some of the features it's got and see if they're worthwhile. Features such as the KeyMod slots on the 3 and 9 o'clock receiver position. The only thing I can think of to do with these besides mounting a sling QD is going to be mounting a light to the side of your rifle. When you've got a light mounted to the left side of the rifle, there's no good way to activate that switch without routing a lot of wiring for a tape switch or breaking your grip to turn the light on. There's also the huge issue of splash lighting up the side of the gun and your support arm as you hold the rifle. I hope that your finish on the gun wasn't anything except matte and that you weren't wearing a shiny reflective watch. Now, this video makes this look pretty bad, and trust me, in person, it's much worse. This light is near dead and is having trouble illuminating a berm 30 yards away. The splash you would be seeing should be 2 to 3 times worse than this with a fully charged and functioning light. Now, we can actually fix a lot of these problems by moving the light over to the right side of the cover. That way the light splash doesn't get in your eyes when it lights the side of the gun up, and it doesn't reflect off your support arm. It's over here. Setting it up like this even gives you the ability to actuate the light with your index finger and not break your firing grip, so it's at least a little more ergonomic than the other side. The biggest problem here is going to be clearance. Let me show you what I mean. Well, so do we get weight savings out of this thing at least? No, we don't. It weighs about as much as a regular AK dust cover, plus a side mount, and that's before you start bolting on the Picatinny rail sections that let you actually mount things to it. Maybe there are weight savings if you use the NC Star Micro Dot that mounts on KeyMod and is intended to be paired with this. That product is pretty forward thinking in that it has shields on the sides of the red dot, so inevitably when recoil knocks this off your gun and the whole thing hits the floor, you'll dent those shields and ruin your KeyMod lockup, but the red dot will be functioning fine. And PS, KeyMod sucks. We ditched it for M-LOK for a good reason. I actually filmed a different intro for this thing before I installed it on a gun, and I was pretty optimistic in that I thought we'd be able to at least go out and shoot groups, but No, not so much. Now the shrewd viewer might notice that this product isn't called a dust cover like this part normally would be called on an AK. That's because this doesn't protect from dust. When installed, there's a giant gap between the receiver and the cover here, so big in fact, dust, debris, and maybe even a small Chinese factory worker could fall in the gap. Needless to say, while installing it, my optimism about what we'd be able to do with this thing quickly vanished. I was thinking we'd be able to shoot groups at 40, 50 yards and maybe get them to be within a foot, even though they would shift. And after trying to get it on, I quickly realized that that was not going to be the case. It was pretty apparent after the installation phase we weren't going to be getting any shooting out of it in the first place, just single shots and then it falling off. So when I tried to put it on the gun, after an hour of work with a Dremel and some pliers, it still wasn't in any kind of condition to shoot, and it wasn't ever going to be in any kind of condition to shoot. I even sacrificed my body to beat it into place, and I still wasn't able to get it to be stable. It's gaps galore with this thing, and the best I could do was get it to stay on for a few reps of dry fire, and maybe even stay on for charging the rifle. If you shook it too vigorously, or racked around in the chamber too hard, it would come loose.
I can just rack it, and that'll make it come loose. Yeah, there we go.
My favorite part about this whole design is that the screws in the back are supposed to be tensioning this thing up against the recoil assembly of the rifle. So even if it was slotting into the receiver correctly and then pushing up against that, once you start firing, this relies on the part of the gun that eats all of the force of the carrier moving around on the recoil cycle to stay in place. So does this thing have any redeeming qualities? No. I have better looking paperweights at home already, and I bought this with the understanding that it would be abysmal dog shit, and I was still disappointed. I did have fun making this video though, so there's that.
Hey! It's the Blair Witch Project. This is the angle right here.
I would strongly recommend getting literally anything else besides this: a Taro, TWS, RS Regulate, Master Mount, airsoft quality. Doesn't matter, anything but this. Do not get this, and just don't get NC Star for any of their parts for that matter. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. I have been Feather Run, this has been Shitty, and this is the end of the video.